Nagyon szépen javaslom.
Na most előbb volt valami itt a...
Just like solar, painted some huge black water, and he has a small outfit.
Úgyhogy hiába és gondolsz.
Okay, again. Okay.
How did you get these arguments?
Ez benne volt már eredetileg.
Ja, az a... Hát nem.
Szóval Stephan arról fog beszélni, hogy ugye hogy épített egy külön kis üvegházat a teknőseinek, ami rengeteg érdekes kérdést is felvett maga mellett, meg ez nyilván mindenkinek az egyik álma. Hogy ő egyetlen visszatérő előadónk itt a Teknős napon, úgyhogy lehet, hogy páran már ismeritek. Nagyon lelkes, meg nagyon kedves fiatalember, és ő hozott most szerencsére egy kis szakirodalmat nekünk, amiről ugye Zsolti beszélt, úgyhogy akkor át is adnám a szót neki, úgyhogy
Okay, yeah, good morning everybody. Thank you for the invitation. I have been here, not here in this building, but in Budapest for the last conference, I think, or was it 2019, something like that?
The first one.
And it was very enjoyable, so I was looking forward to be here today. Unfortunately, my Hungarian didn't improve since then, so I'm still talking in English, I'm sorry. Yeah, if you have any questions, I hope we can somehow manage to translate. And yeah, in case your German or English is better than my Hungarian, I think we should find a way to communicate. So, my presentation today is about building a greenhouse. I live near Vienna, so basically the same climate as here, maybe even a little less warm. And so if you want to keep turtles, especially like subtropical ones or tropical ones outside, then you basically need a greenhouse to enhance their outside period. And so this is what I will be talking about. Yeah, it will be like a journey. It's not like the perfect recipe, but if you can learn from my mistakes, then everything should be fine. So, very important before we start, this is not a presentation about successful breeding or long-term keeping. The greenhouse is not that old. I just want to share some experiences with you. And it's also not about European tortoises. So in this greenhouse we don't have any tortoises. It's mostly for aquatic species and who are of Flabomagnata, so like yeah, semi-aquatics or maybe even terrestrial if you want to call it like that. So why are we keeping chelonians outdoors? Well, we think, and long-term experience shows us, that natural sun and climate are the best for our animals. But yeah, just like I said, if we live where we are, then the conditions are not always the best. So if you want to keep your turtles outside, the North American ones, without any protection, then it's probably only possible from April to October. And if the year is like this year, at least in Austria, our May and end of April were horrible. And so I haven't put all turtles outside yet because it's just too cold. And there are some exceptions. In Austria, you can keep the Studo, Emis, Chrysemis, Kelydra outside, but not in every area, only like in the really warm climate areas. In Hungary, it's maybe a little bit more easy if you are living in the south, so it's almost like, yeah, like really warm summers, but still our winters and the spring and fall are probably a little too cold. So this is how I started my first outdoor keeping experiences. So when I was 12 years old, I decided I need a pond, and so my dad gave me a shovel and said, go and dig, and I just did. But yeah, I wasn't very successful, didn't last long. So this pond is perfect for newts, so for local amphibians, it's great, but not for turtles. The next improvements were tubs and aquariums that I just put outside, and it works okayish, but as you can see, there is no fixed land area, there is no sand, nothing where you can dig and lay eggs in. So this is only for juveniles or males or females that are not reproducing. Yeah. Still, my mad turtles enjoyed it a lot. The females, they were juvenile at this stage, they showed great colors, so I really liked the olive and the rings on these Craptemis nyclinoda. It was okay, but they had to go back to their aquarium, and when they grew older, I had to wait until the egg deposition season is finished, and then they could go outside, and then it's only like 2 more months in the garden, so it wasn't really the best. Then we moved into a house with a big garden, and yeah, I tried something like this. So these are koi ponds. This is from the company is called Heisner. I don't know if they are around in Hungary, but these are great tubs for turtles. 1.40 m long, 70 centimeters wide, and 45 centimeters deep. Sold as regular garden ponds, and so you can get it anywhere. It's pretty cool. But yeah, just like you see here, there's no nothing above, so it's also kind of unprotected, and the temperature, if the weather is bad, is just too low. So I tried something like this. This is a mini greenhouse, or let's say temporary greenhouse for tomatoes, and in the greenhouse you have some further plastic tubs. It gets warm very, very quickly. It gets really hot in there, but also it doesn't really keep the heat, so it doesn't help a lot. And also I had to open this all the time and close it every day. Going outside, checking on the turtles is very stressful. It wasn't the optimal solution. And it could even overheat. So I was lucky, no turtle died, but I could see some signs of stress eventually when I forgot to open it. So yeah, this wasn't a long-term solution either. So yeah, that's level 2.5 already, so I have put some glass lids, so it worked better, but still no egg deposition areas. And here in this tub, I placed a juvenile Phrynops williamsi, which is a species from southern South America, so from Uruguay, Argentina, and southern Brazil. And I thought that they would be very well adapted to changing temperatures, like really cool during the day and warm, cool during the night, warm during the day. But even one of these died, so yeah, I was not satisfied. Still, my wife said she doesn't want anything large in the garden. Temporary is okay, but she didn't like the look, so if we would have asked her, I would have to get rid of all of these, and I wasn't satisfied either. So this is the Williams I had, so it sat outside all the time, still had a lot of algae on it, because the water was so warm, it wasn't really ideal. Yeah, and then I thought, okay, maybe let's go big. At least that's what I had in mind when I started researching what to do and which companies are around that could help me. And so you come up, you know, when you want to really explain to your family why you need a greenhouse, then you come up with reasons. And of course, better animal keeping is very important. They get the natural temperatures and the better light, and they have more space, and everything will be awesome. And of course, nowadays it's important you will save on energy because you don't have to heat the aquariums inside. Outside it's all better. And of course, if you want to do some gardening or if you want to grow your veggies in the greenhouse, this is possible too. So everybody will be satisfied. Yeah. And it really works. So the red beets, they are awesome. They're really large. Given that you have the place to grow them, and not everything is full with turtles. But I tried to do everything. I tried to have a separate place for turtles. I have some chameleons in there, some place for my plants, and also place for the veggies. So it was clear that I had to share. If you have the greenhouse and if you maintain it for a while, then you discover the real reasons why you have it. So yes, the temperatures fluctuate, they go up and down. This is very natural and this is healthy for the turtles. And if the weather is bad, the turtles won't eat, so you don't have to feed them. This is all okay. Definitely it's more room for keeping animals, because outside you can make large enclosures, which is really cool. And in the basement, where you have the other turtles, there's also more room, so more can go in there. So I win. So yeah, this is what it looks like now. The company is called Hokateam, but basically, I mean, there's a lot of companies around. I just was looking for something where you have kind of thick acrylic glass at 16 millimeters. The measurements are 3 meters by 5 meters, so it's 15 square meters. We have a footing that goes down into the soil to 60 centimeters, so there's no frost. Yeah, I have some shades in here because it really gets warm during the summer. You really need the shading for cooler temperatures, and in the winter you need the shades so that the heat stays in a little bit, at least. Yeah, and yeah, in past years I had electrical heating to 8 to 10 degrees Celsius, which worked really fine for some more sensitive plants. Then this year, with the energy crisis, we decided to keep the temperatures lower, only to non-freezing, like 3 or 4 degrees Celsius. The turtles didn't care, but a lot of plants died, unfortunately. Yeah, but I have no better system of heating except for electricity, so yeah, we will see how we do it this year. And yeah, the costs for everything you see here, including this fancy top that my wife wanted, it's 14,000 euros, so it's actually a lot, but yeah. Now my wife is happy with the optical appearance, and I am happy with what I'm keeping inside. So yeah, it's a couple of months or maybe even years saving, but it's worth it, at least I think. So this is how it started. So in 2019 we said, all right, we need a greenhouse. Then we started building everything. The concrete footing was built in fall and summer. 2020 we started without any animals in the greenhouse to see what the temperatures in winter will be like. And in 2020 to 2021 we had the first animals hibernating in there, and so far it worked quite well. So this is how it started. This construction you already know. So this is my son helping me with the construction work. My daughter is already digging. Unfortunately, I had to replace the kids with somebody who could do real work. But yeah, it looked quite fine. So this is for electricity we have here. This is where I have the water, and this is the first one mistake. I thought, well, it's only a few meters, the water can stay outside. No, it can't. Now I'm cursing all the time if I want to change water in the turtle tanks. I have to open the door, get the hose from outside in, and it's really complicated. I should have just dug another lineage here and have the water there, but yeah, now it's too late. Greenhouse construction was fairly easy, I must say. So all of this is aluminum, and you just put up the front and the back, and this large thing is put in the middle. This is where you need most people, because somebody has to fixate it, and then you have to screw it in on top, but then it already is almost stable. And then you just put in the additional like the bars. If you have large tanks planned, then the tanks have to go in first, because they are broader than the door, so they don't get through the door. I had to put it inside first and then build everything around it. And the more you put in, so even the acrylic kind of stabilizes the whole thing. So at first it's really wobbly, and you don't think it will withstand any wind, but it's really, when everything is in place, it's really stable. And in our area we have a lot of strong wind, and doesn't really affect it at all. So this is what it looked like when we were done. So we have placed all the turtle tubs in there, some plants, and yeah, this is how I started the first winter. Then we discovered that the regular soil is not very good, because it's very it's not even. So we thought about this solution. So these are old bricks. They can suck up moisture, and then it evaporates again. It should hold for a while. And then we did this. So it's a pathway to the back, and also here, this is where I put the veggies in, or let's say used to, because right now I put a lot of turtle tubs in there as well. And yeah, this is the fully stocked greenhouse. So we have some light, as I said, we have shading, a couple of veggies there. This aquarium is for the painted turtles, and these ones in the back, they are 1,000 liters each. So for sliders, it's quite okay. So going through the different seasons in the greenhouse with you, I have to exchange the stock of the greenhouse a little bit, because in summer it gets really warm in there, so I have to move some turtles and the chameleons outside, because they would be too hot in there. Only the spotted turtles stay in there, my river cooters, the painted turtles, some cacti that my grandma donated to me when she found out that I had the greenhouse. And yeah, so during summer it's almost all the time open here. So here it's open, here it's closed, so nobody can escape. And yeah, so far we were lucky that no cat from the neighbors jumped in there and tried to raid everything. So in spring we bring out the chameleons. This is Trioceros jacksoni, so three-horned chameleons from the highlands of southeastern Africa, and they can take really low temperatures, a little above 0 degrees. It's all right for them if it gets warm during the day. And so they go outside quite soon. The flavor marginates usually should go outside, but right now the weather is so bad. And I have some citrus trees and some olive trees, they also go outside quite soon. During the summer I have to do a lot of water changing because the water gets hot quite soon, and if you don't watch out you have almost 50 degrees Celsius in there, but at the top level, like in 1 meter 88, so the deeper you go the cooler it gets, and this is the minimum temperature. So at the bottom where the koala are situated, it's way cooler. Just like you see here, when I do water changes, I sometimes just flood their enclosure as well because they really like it, and it dries off and it's okay. Or let's say I've tried it for the last 2 years to grow cucumbers in there, but it's even too hot for them, so they can be grown until a certain size and then they go outside. And yeah, unfortunately it's also summer is bug season, so I have to spray a lot with water so the plants don't dry out and get some problems. Then in fall the chameleons go in again when it's not really warm anymore. Then I have to play plant Tetris, so everything that I bought during summer and everything that grew has to go back into the greenhouse. Some plants that I have over summer in the greenhouse have to go back to the normal house where we live in. And yeah, then I just let the koala in there until it's really cool, and then I just wait a few weeks. They go to the basement where it's warm, so they have their summer in December. There they lay their eggs, and now they go outside again in April, May. Yeah. So when it's really cold outside, the chameleons get a heating spot. So this is the terrarium, it's all mesh, and their heating spot is up there. Then when the koalas go inside, the Spengleri go outside, and there I hibernate them for 8 to 10 weeks. And these are the temperatures. So if it's sunny, the temperature in where my head is up to 30 degrees Celsius, but on the bottom it's very cool most of the time, and it spikes down a little bit. So this winter we had -10 degrees Celsius for a few nights, and there it was only 4 degrees Celsius in the greenhouse, but it was no problem for the Spengleri. I was a little worried, but they took it really well. And if you see here, so this is a temperature gun, and if you point the laser onto the chameleon where it really sits, it's over 30 degrees, so the animals can actively regulate, and yeah, this works quite fine. And yeah, these are the boxes for the Spengleri. They are on the bottom. They have holes, and I make sure that they get enough air, and this works quite well. So these are the temperatures throughout the year. So as you can see, even in winter time, so this is the 20th of December, it's always a little below 10, but never below 5. And we have some occasional spikes where it really goes warm. But yeah, Austria in winter is not very sunny, so unfortunately the spikes are really rare. And in summer it gets really, really warm most of the time, and sometimes it spikes over 40 degrees even. So we have some greenhouse winners where I can really recommend having them in there all year long, which are the painted turtles, river cooters, pseudemis, my grandma's cacti, and the chameleons. They like it a lot. I have some losers though, cucumbers, just like I said, they just don't grow very well, they look ugly, and they also get some fungus on the leaves and die quite soon. Salad is the same thing, and yeah, I try to keep tropical turtles like the Phrynops outside, and yeah, it's just too unsure for me. So I decided not to have them outside. And obviously, if I continue heating it to 10 or even more degrees during the winter, my bank account is the biggest loser of all. So yeah, that's why it's a little bit colder nowadays. So with some, I'm not sure yet. So the cichlids, they are from Uruguay and they should do well, but unfortunately I had a problem with oxygen in the water. So these first ones died. I will get some more from the breeder, and now that I have permanent oxygen in the water with those bubble stones, it should work well. The mad turtles looked like this after a while. You know, I mentioned in the beginning that I liked how the shells of the mad turtles looked like with really green color. I don't see the color anymore. And so they also stopped laying eggs. So I aborted this experiment last fall. So I gave them back to the original owner, who keeps them inside all year long. And yeah, I have a Monstera deliciosa in there, the large tropical plant. And one winter it survived without any problems. The next winter, when I turned down the temperatures a little bit, it almost looked like it was dead, but now some small baby leaves are coming back, so I guess she's not happy, but alive at least. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. And so the main lessons learned is that the temperature fluctuations, they can be really crazy if you don't watch out, like really warm and still really cold. But on very nice days, you see here, at least I hope, it's 14 degrees in the greenhouse, even though the outside temperature is -4. If it's sunny, that's really cool. The temperature where the chameleon had 31 degrees was -2 outside, so this is really, really nice. But I really suggest, even if it's only for turtles, to have oxygen supply with one of those pumps to help the water quality being optimal. And the turtles, you know, they also breathe a little bit from water, so this is important. And yeah, if you have a fan, it blows the warm air down again, so the overall temperature is a little bit better, and that helps to heat the cool floor. So if you want to build a greenhouse yourself, you really have to mind the vertical temperature zones, so only put animals up above like 1.50 meters that really take warm temperatures, like hot temperatures. Everything that requires cooler temperatures should be more at the bottom. You should think about really what you want to have in there and how long it should stay there. So temperate, or let's say permanent residence or permanent residency is way different than temporary housing in the greenhouse. Or you have unlimited space and you can just build a lot of greenhouses with different temperatures, but not too many people can do that. And yeah, unfortunately this which greenhouse type are you test doesn't exist, but if it ever exists, you should definitely do it beforehand, because it's kind of expensive to fail. So thanks for listening. I would have to thank a few people who urged me to do this presentation, like Richard Gamer from the Natural History Museum in Vienna, Joe Joven, who has a really nice greenhouse and guided me a lot. And yeah, obviously I had a lot of helpers and people who endure my ideas. And yeah, if you want to see what else we are doing in the house with animal keeping, you can follow my Instagram page if you like a lot of shenanigans on there. So thank you, and looking forward to the rest of the day.
Valakinek van kérdése, csak magyarul, akkor nyugodtan, és akkor lefordítjuk esetleg a Stephannak.
Du benutzt nur Luftheizung ohne Bodenheizung, oder?
Ja, also es ist ein Ventilator, der geheizt wird, der bläst die Luft in diese Richtung und oben ist ein Ventilator, der die Wärme nach unten bläst. Ja. Sonst nichts eigentlich. Am Boden, durch das große Fundament, das tief nach unten geht, habe ich keinen Frost am Boden. Und das reicht eben für die sichere Überwinterung der Schildkröten. Und eben die Zitrusbäume, Kanner, alle möglichen Pflanzen stehen am Boden und das passt.
Und was meinst du wegen Landschildkröten, aber nicht Wasserschildkröten?
Ja.
Die haben Bodenheizung. Wie meinst du, kann man das so einrichten oder soll man eine andere technische Einrichtungen haben?
Ich kenne das so, dass für Landschildkröten hast du das Gewächshaus und dann baust du ein kleines Haus wie eine Hundehütte und im Deckel, also am Dach dieser Hundehütte, hast du oben eine Lampe oder Wärme, Infrarot, aber eigentlich den Boden selten. Weil die Schildkröten, wenn es zu warm ist, dann gehen sie in den Boden, ist es kühl. Wenn es zu kalt ist, sitzen sie weiter oben. Aber eben Haus im Haus funktioniert da ganz gut.
Vielen Dank.
Bitte schön.
Nem tudom, van valaki kíváncsi rá? Mert akkor...
Igen, ich soll das übersetzen. Elnézést, csak németül egyszerű volt megkérdezni, hogy ezt kérdeztem, hogy kizárólag csak légfűtést használ-e, és mondta, hogy igen, két irányból mennek a ventilátorok, egyrészt egy hosszan melegíti a házat, és ha szükséges, akkor föntről is tudja picit lefelé nyúlni a helyet, ebben tudja a hőmérséklet különbséget kicsit igazítani, de neki van szüksége arra, hogy alacsonyabb hőmérsékletre is eltegyen teknősöket, és akkor a következő kérdésem a szárazföldi teknősökkel volt, hogy hogyan lehet ezt megoldani mondjuk szárazföldieknél, akik alapvetően a talajhőmérsékletet is igénylik, és akkor itt beszéltünk arról, hogy akkor a házban elrendezéssel esetleg lehet egy melegedő funkciójú házat építeni bent a házban, és ugyanúgy utána a fűtést megoldani. Bocsánat.
Teljesen. Jó, akkor köszönjük el, most a szünet következik.